Hi guys, welcome to a new series called Improve Your Flying. We're going to look at how you can do some simple things to help improve your flying and progress. And in this episode, the idea is that you have 3 very different maneuvers that you're working on at any point in time. I personally use this method, and most of the time I know what I'm going to practice before I get to the field, and I'm thinking about the moves on the way there. Having just 3 should make them easy to remember, and also having them varied enough to keep you engaged and allow you to enjoy your sessions. So let's get to it. Now the first maneuver is going to be a hovering shape. The maneuver you choose for this step will be low risk, but will still be challenging. A hovering shape could be something like a tail-in square, a nose-in circuit, a side-on vertical circuit, and so on. If you're in the early stages, something like a tail-in circle can be a good challenge to do. It combines sideways with forwards and backwards movement to make a perfect circle, and you want to do this at a constant pace. Creating a curve requires a lot of concentration, and initially may feel more like a series of straight lines. However, over time you will be able to make this nice and round. And if that's too easy, you could try nose-in or side-on circles, or even inverted hovering circles. I find having to focus on making the shape during this exercise makes you forget about the sticks, and this is what you're aiming for. You think about where you want the heli to go, and the fingers and thumbs should do it automatically. Another good test is a pirouette on the spot. It needs to have an ultra slow rotation, as slow as you can possibly make, maybe 30 to 40 seconds to complete the pirouette. And what you'll find is that it starts easy and you can maintain position and height, but as soon as it gets to a place where your reactions are slow, it will gain height and move away. And that's what you're looking for, to find those weaknesses, practice them, and get that pirouette perfect. Remember, this has to be flown slowly, because if you do it too fast, you'll skip through the weaker areas without any corrections, which is not what we want. F3C hovering maneuvers are also a good choice, as they are extremely difficult to do well, but will create a strong connection between you and the model. So for this step, you just want to choose one maneuver. The second maneuver is going to be a maneuver that you can do in one orientation, but you can't do in another orientation. Now, if you're in the hovering stages, you'll have to choose something like taking a tail-in hover and turning it 45 degrees, but ideally it should be a flying maneuver, so we're not repeating the hovering that we've done in the first section. This could be anything from loops and rolls to tic-tocs and piroflips, where you might be able to do them in one direction but not another. The reason for this one is it's a move you know how to do, it's just another orientation. So when you get stuck or struggle, you can figure it out by asking yourself, how did I do this in the first place? You're also very likely to see improvement week to week, which will keep you motivated. Another benefit is that the orientation you did in the first place is likely to get better, as now you have to dig a little deeper and maybe break it down to understand how it works, instead of it being a natural side that you just fell into. Loops and rolls are obvious ones. If you can do them right to left, you should definitely be trying them left to right, and try them towards you and away from yourself. Those are quite unusual. Stationary moves like tic-tocs can just be rotated 45 degrees to change the perspective. You'll likely find this pretty tricky, but it's the exact same stick movements, just a slightly different view. Funnels and hurricanes are another good choice. Many pilots can go in one direction but never bother with any of the others, so this could be an easy win. Just a few sessions and you'll be able to crack some of those. I could go on, but you get the idea. Pick something you already know so that you can reference it when learning something new. Simple. And the final maneuver is going to be one that is new to you. Now this could be absolutely anything, from loops and rolls up to the latest 3D maneuvers. You'd normally try these on the sim first, but you might be at the stage where you're taking them to the field. If you don't know what you want to try, the F3N set maneuvers list is a good place to start. It includes a description and diagram for each of the moves, and there are videos like this one that go through them all. There are 35 to 40 moves ranked from intermediate to top level, and you can just start at the bottom and pick one. Sideways or backwards flight is another good flight orientation that you might not have tried. Have you ever done a backwards stall turn? It's harder than you think. Now there is some risk when learning new maneuvers, but you'll be aware of your own level and the height that you might need to be to learn a new maneuver. 3 mistakes high is the usual recommendation, and it just means you'll have a few goes at trying to save it as it drops out of the sky. One tip I can give you is to start in the uncomfortable position first, or skip what you know. Often when practicing and learning maneuvers, we'll get 3/4 of the way through, bail out and start from the beginning again. And once you've done this a few times, you've spent a lot of time redoing the first part and very little time on the last. Take this circuit for example. When learning, a lot of pilots start and go most of the way around before bailing out at nose in. Next time, start in the far position and go straight into the part you're struggling with. This will help with the concentration as it's now focused on the tricky bit rather than getting there. It's the same thing with a rolling rotation. Here I'm bailing out as soon as I get nose right and I'm going back to the beginning. Instead, I should be starting nose left from a solid position and taking it from there and going straight into the section I'm struggling with. This should speed your learning up a considerable amount, as I think you'll be surprised at how much time you waste getting to the point that actually needs the practice. So in conclusion, these are 3 very different maneuvers that you can practice depending on how you feel or the weather in the day. And here's the thing I want you to do. Come up with the 3 moves that you're going to focus on. So 1 hovering shape, 1 new orientation, and 1 new move. And put them in the comments. That will be your stake in the ground and plan as to what you'll be learning and improving in the near future. They don't have to be super impressive, you want them to be attainable, but make the commitment as to what you want to do. And then if you're struggling with something, we can come up with a plan or another way of attacking them. Most importantly though, don't let them interrupt your enjoyment of the hobby. We all get something slightly different from flying helicopters, but whenever you can't think of what you want to do next, or you know you should be working on something, you now have a list that you can pull out of your pocket. Until next time.